this is like when you're on a 2-week vacation and you only have a few days left of the vacation. We are on block number 9 out of a 10 block of the month. The block of the month was called On the Road Trip Quilt, and we are almost nearing the end. As you can see, we've got 2 more to go. So I'm going to go ahead and pull you in closer, and we're going to unpackage block number 9. I've already got my background fabric here that I pre-cut at the very beginning of the series. I used the chart, but I also double check on the front of the cover color sheet to make sure I have the size block right, and the orientation as well. So we'll pull you in and get you where you could see, and we'll get this package opened. We have our block, all the pieces in shape. I'm making sure that my little ultra suede eye is exactly where I want it. And then I'm going to go ahead and mist my pieces, because the Steam is Steam 2 does require a moisture component. That's why steam is part of the name. I use a dry iron so that my iron never leaks, and that's why I use the spray bottle. So I have this now sandwiched between 2 layers of the Teflon pressing sheet, and I'm going to let that heat of the iron permeate through all the different layers. Now I have my iron set at a cotton setting, but what you need to be paying attention to is the conditions at your home. I'm not going to be able to tell you how many seconds to leave the iron at your place, because the heat of the iron, the setting, the environmental factors like how warm or cold the room is, are all going to play a part in how long it takes to bond that properly. We do have to allow the heat of the iron to permeate through the top layer of the Teflon pressing sheet and through each of the layers of the applique. So keeping in mind that there's fusible web underneath the wing, underneath the body, and it has to attach to the back. For the flowers, it's underneath a small part of the center, the larger circle underneath the flower petal. And in this case, where it overlaps other flowers, you really have to let that heat permeate through all of those layers so that it bonds properly. The Teflon pressing sheet also helps prevent scorching on any of my fabric, keeps my sole plate clean in case any of the fusible web were to ease out from underneath the applique shapes, and it keeps my edges crisp from the edges of my iron, because if sometimes I get lazy and I'll push the iron side to side, and that could catch the edge of one of the shapes and crinkle it up and fuse it in place incorrectly. So I really want to be careful of that, and I'm giving that area right where the eye is a good burst of heat here, because it's a little bit thicker and it takes a while for the heat to go through that little ultra suede eye. When I'm finished, or I think I'm finished, I go ahead and open it up, flip it over, and I'm going to go ahead and repeat the process, spraying where the applique shapes are and making sure I bond it from the back down, so that every single portion of this has had a chance to bond properly. It also gives me a chance to kind of iron the background a little bit, just in case I've gotten it a little damp from the spray bottle. I hope you've been enjoying this journey with me of being on the road. It's kind of a retro trip with the VW Bug, the old scooters. And just like that, we have block number 9 finished. We only have one more to go. And so we're going to go ahead and get this one pinned up to the wall. And we'll show you what that looks like with the others in the group.